So the sun is out, it's warming up quickly. We're under a heat advisory clear through the weekend. It's going to be another hot day out here. My photographer Dale is panned over. Maybe you can see the mist off in the distance. There's a misting station already at work down by the waterfront. Want to point out something. I don't know, can you see that KOIN booth off in the distance? That's where Jenny and Ken will be broadcasting live for the noon show. It is so much fun to do an entire show here from the Safeway Waterfront Blues Fest. It was just great to see that yesterday at noon, and then for all of the evening shows. More on the festival in just a second, but let's get to your forecast this morning. Temperatures warming quickly, so I think we're going to be in the 80s at lunchtime today. We will top out about 95 degrees later on this afternoon. 7 o'clock still in the low 90s, but I have to say, I noticed yesterday we started seeing the shade from the buildings of downtown right around 4 or 5 o'clock, so that definitely helps cut back on some of the heat here along the waterfront. And here's a live look over Portland. Beautiful blue skies. The sun is up and it is warming us quickly. Temperatures around the region, obviously the coolest out at the coast with 50s. We've got a mix of 60s and 70s elsewhere. 70s through the gorge, 60s up and down the I-5 corridor. It feels like it took forever to get out of the 70s at PDX. Now high pressure in control. That's going to keep us hot and it's going to keep us dry all weekend long. So speaking of the weekend, let's get to your weekend forecast. Along the coast, I think we'll be in the 70s tomorrow. Beautiful weather. Areas of morning clouds followed by sunshine. 80 on Sunday. So it'll be warm there, but not sizzling hot. And I know there are quite a few fireworks displays in Seaside, Astoria, and other locations along the coast. In the valley, temperatures in the 90s. I think Saturday will be cooler than Sunday. Sunday, we crank it back up to about 97 degrees here in the valley. In the Cascades, it'll be hot if you have any hiking or camping plans. Temperatures in the 80s in the afternoon, 50s overnight. Central Oregon, mid-90s both days. Not under a heat advisory, though, like we are for the I-5 corridor. It's still going to be sizzling hot. And finally, eastern Oregon, there is the threat of some storms developing this weekend, especially the further south you go, east of the Cascades. Here's your 7-day forecast. It's going to be toasty the next 7 days. You know, the only relief, if you can even call it that, would be the middle part of next week when we could potentially hit the upper 80s. But it's going to be hot. You see nothing but sunshine there on the extended 7-day forecast. So I'm over here. We're lounging with Susanna Morgan, CEO of the Oregon Food Bank. How you doing? Are you exhausted?
No, I'm having a blast.
You are. You've got the primo location here. Tell me, how did yesterday go?
Yesterday went really well. We had about 14,000 people come through the Blues Festival, which is great. We'd like to see that pick up through this weekend, so we're hoping more folks will come on down.
Yeah, I know it will pick up today because a lot of people, even at KOIN, it's a company holiday. Yeah. So we're working the holiday, aren't we, girl?
We're working the holiday, yeah. Absolutely.
So now, what did you learn about the heat? I know a few people had heat-related issues yesterday down here. What did you learn, or what advice do you have for people coming down?
So I had a bottle of water in my hand the entire time yesterday, and my recommendation to folks is to do that again. Yes. We had a lot of folks with spray bottles, and we have misters around the station, so please keep yourself wet. It really, really helps. And then I would just also point out that here on the waterfront, we get a nice breeze. This might be the coolest place to be outside in Portland.
Yes, and like I mentioned, we do get the shadows cast by the buildings. Yes. Late in the afternoon. One other thing we want to point out is that we're asking, or they're asking, the Oregon Food Bank for a $10 donation if you come down here. Really reasonable considering the acts that are going to be here. It's all a fundraiser, so 100% of the proceeds go to you guys, and $10 goes a long way, Carly. It can provide 30 meals. So really, even if you can't do $10, anything helps the Oregon Food Bank. Back to you.